Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about the Rhoa Mount and how to make it more durable, how to optimize the new spirit gem they added in this patch. So this video will be short, but I have quite significant discovery to share. So basically the Rhoa Mount is having its own HP. We have, maybe I move this aside. So we have few stats on it that scale with the level, like armor, evasion, resistances are 0. This comes from support gems, right? So there is some level of defense, but I think it all doesn't matter. If it does, then it's even better for us, but we can assume it doesn't. So this is when the mount is walking freely, because if you read it, it can also walk along you as a companion and attack with its beak, right? So that's really useless. So the only use case is to ride on it, and then I'm not sure about the defenses, but you know, it doesn't cost anything to get level 21. You have 4 slots. I think the best supports are loyalty, which takes 10% from Rhoa Mount HP before you when you are damaged. This helps really with surviving those big one shots. And then there's this mid shield, which means that the Rhoa takes 35% less damage. I'm not sure if it really helps us to survive those big one shots or helps us not getting heavy stunned. I think it's useless, but there's nothing better, so just use this. Same with Elemental Army, we have Elemental Resistance. I don't think this affects us at all, but there is nothing better, so use this. And there's this Minion Master, which basically increases evasion, armor, and maximum life of our Rhoa. So that's the basic about the gem itself. My take on this, nothing of this matters. This is when Rhoa walks freely and is a companion. So what really matters is heavy stun, right? So when you get heavy stunned, you get stunned for like 3 seconds, you have no evasion, and you're basically vulnerable to any damage. Very often you will die, because if something dealt enough damage to kick you off the Rhoa, and basic stun threshold is equals to your life, which means if you take damage equal to your life, with one remark, I will explain this in a second, then you are kicked out of the mount, and then you can die, right? So you cannot pop up your life flask. Basically, you have to wait 3 seconds until you can take an action. So there's a way of mitigation that, right? But why I meant almost, right? Because we can read that physical, somewhere in there was, physical damage and plier, but not monster, melee damage, each cause 50% more heavy stun buildup, which means if you get physical damage hit, it can be part of your, I don't know, 70% of your HP, but you are still going down, right? So it doesn't necessarily need to kill you, to heavy stun you, and this will happen way more often than basically getting one shot. So there is a way of basically increasing that, and I will show you a few texts I use to mitigate that, right? So the first one is deft recovery. It's here in the tree. You can use this one as well, because normally with normal stuns, with soft stun, how you can call it, it's basically not that good, because it only helps you with the first stun. So if you're getting swarmed and you can getting multiple stuns in very short time, those nodes won't really be useful. However, with heavy stun, it's happening maybe once a map, maybe twice, without those nodes, of course. When I applied them, I barely get heavy stunned, right? I mean, when I increase my stun threshold. So you can read about the stun threshold, how it works. It's equal to your maximum life, blah, 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 right? So all that we already explained. This is the main source of our stun threshold. It costs us 2 points. Third one, if your life is not yet there. So when I play Delirium, I'm still getting heavy stunned. If I play like T16 map with Delirium, I still get heavy stunned, which means maybe when I level up, I will have to take this node, right? Or I need to rethink my tree, even though my tree is shit, so it's nothing to, let's say, to share, but probably I will have to take this node as well, because if I get heavy stunned, I die. And I really want my character to be durable and, you know, not dying very often so I can level up to 96 or beyond. So those 3 nodes are very powerful, and this is your basis. Then there is a second source of stun threshold, very powerful, 25%, up to 25% on your jewels. And this is great because you can get you know, modes like increase damage with bows, increase lightning damage, increase attack speed with bows. So there's plenty of variations of good jewels, and they are very not very cheap, but you can buy some for 5 exalts, you can buy some for 1 divine, whatever you get, right? So I get 2 of those maybe when I get my 3 for to a crit version. So getting those nodes and those nodes, these nodes. Then maybe I can get my 3rd jewel with additional 25% of stun threshold, right? And then maybe do better in Delirium, maybe try Simulacrum, right? Because there's a lot of monsters which deal physical damage there. And I think this is really it. That change made my Rhoa very durable. I can map. I'm not dying anymore. I'm not having like super, you know, buffed character. So just to show you my DPS, it's like 27k, so it's not that high really. I don't have like super expensive gear, and which means I'm not deleting whole screens, and sometimes I need to engage into combat in combat, and sometimes you're getting like corpse explosion which you don't see, and if it stuns you, then a rare mob will basically delete you in 3 seconds because your evasion is down, and this is my only layer of defense, right? So as a ranger, you don't really have a lot of options, right? You go for evasion, you might go for acrobatics, but that's still the same. If your evasion is 0 when you are heavy stunned, you basically die. And one more tip, which I found great with Rhoa Mount, is going for shrines. So I will upload a separate video with example map. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I will wait a bit when I get a lot of shrines, because those nodes were buffed. There are, let's say, nodes that increase the time. You can have like double effect on some shrines. Some shrines can be activated twice. Basically, shrines are really powerful, feels like Headhunter. Then going there will get you more rare mobs. And this node is also great because your boss can be duplicated. It says rare mob, but yeah, actually it says, yeah, or unique, yeah. So not sure why it says rare mob, but yeah, you can get your boss duplicated, which means you will get another map, you will get another boss loot. So if you went for some boss nodes, then it can be really powerful. Then this tree also has additional shrine, and then you have tablets. We have now 3 tablets per tower, and you can also have more chance for shrines. Why shrines are so powerful with Rhoa? Because you're not stopping for attacks, which means you have 1 minute of really high attack and movement speed buff. You basically rush through your map, you can clear your map in like 3 minutes. Sometimes you get 2 of those shrines, so you get like permanent movement and attack speed buff. You can get damage buff. And what I spec'd into, which I still not sure if that's the optimal way, but I spec'd into a rarity shrine, which is really great. It increases your rarity by a lot, and if you clear some content like I don't know, expedition, bridge during that buff, you will get a lot better loot, right? So I think it's important to go fast. I think it's important to get loot, and I think this is the best combination of, let's say, of things we can get from this league is getting shrine, completing your atlas as soon as possible, because, you know, if you look at my atlas, I had to go through a lot of zones to get where I am, to clear all those corrupted zones, right? So it's crazy. I think it needs some rework. I'm still working on my atlas before I start juicing my maps. But yeah, this, let's say, shrines help me, and everything's, let's say, happening faster. So I know there are a lot of complaints about this league, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I picked up strong ascendancy, strong class. Rhoa is basically OP, and I think this is what PoE 2 should be. Meaningful combat, no thanks. I'd rather zoom through my maps, I'd rather take loot and kill hordes of monsters in speed of light. So I hope you found this video useful. I will be posting interesting stuff when I find it. Maybe I will do some income strategies when I finish my atlas. I will try different stuff, and if I decide that none of the popular streamers has already covered it, I will create some videos. And yeah, we will probably do more. I will do more videos when PoE 1 league comes out. Probably another Blight league, and yeah. Hope that was useful to you. Cheers, bye.